Rejoice, everyone, for we're back with another Fate Reacts to Sekhie. Sekhie reacts to Fate.
I personally think the Fate should react to me reacting to Fate, but
horror.
Fuck you. I should be a Fate servant.
So if you can't tell by what's on screen this week we're doing, this week, this is out of the massive Fate.
Yeah, this week is...
Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl.
Thank you for correcting my pronunciation.
Obviously neither of us will have the pronunciation perfect. I'm going off the Nahuatl pronunciation, which uses the tl at the end of the one, and is Ketz, like K-E-T-Z, Quetzalcoatl. So that's the pronunciation I'm using for most of these, because that's how I learned them in one of my classes. So I have a professor who's super, super big into like Mayan, Aztec, all that sort of stuff, and he taught an entire class on it, and I took it, and so I know a lot about this kind of stuff, ironically, even though it is not in any way related to any of my chosen areas of study.
I'm probably going to end up with the Fate shortening of her name, Ketz.
Ketz is very useful. I do like using Ketz. I use Ketz myself. It's like what Ku, I just use Ku.
Yeah.
Because Ketz, Ku, saves you from the landmine that is pronouncing the back end of it around someone who thinks that they're the one who knows the only possible way you could pronounce it. Like, the amount of times when I've said, like, Cucullin or Cuculain or something like that, and somebody's been like, actually, that's not how you pronounce it. It's something else like this entirely. And I'm like, cool, good for you. Do you speak ancient Gaelic?
Okay, but you deserve that. We've gotten into arguments over Jeanne d'Arc or Joan of Arc.
Well, because Joan of Arc is her anglicized name, and that's fine, but Jeanne d'Arc is the more French pronunciation.
But I think you in particular, I think, got like...
That's because I think Vorn said Jean.
Okay,
like as in jeans. And I was like, that's not... No. Like, there's a difference. So there's a difference between trying, right? Like, actively seeing how it's pronounced and making an attempt to pronounce it correctly, and then being like, Kuchulaina, or saying, Quetzalcoatl, instead of trying.
Being fair, but that's what you're going to think when you're reading it for the first time.
Yeah, if you're going off, if you only have experience with, like, American pronunciation or English pronunciation, you're going to have a very different...
You're always going to default to what you know. When I'm reading a non-English word, because I spent high school and college studying Japanese, I default to, like, when I don't recognize a word, trying to pronounce it like it's a Japanese word.
Yeah, and I can see how, if you look at this and you were thinking from, like, someone who's not learned another language or speaks primarily just, like, American English, you would maybe think, like, Quetzalcoatl, like, because you've got the word Q and then coat at the end, so I could see it, but, I'm going off Nahuatl, mostly because I know a little bit of Nahuatl.
Alright, so Sekhie and I think, are done trying to justify our cultural insensitivity.
Okay, so, Ketz, right? This is the Aztec feathered serpent. It is also our first gender bend in a while. Like, It's been a hot minute. When was our last gender bend? Besides Altera. That doesn't count, because there was a lot of fucky-wucky shit on the other end of that.
I'm pretty sure it was Altera, though.
Yeah, but there was fucky-wucky shit. Like, there was the whole Velber 02 and...
The thing isn't that it wasn't a gender bend. It was absolutely a gender bend. It was just also... There was a lot more things going on with it than just a gender bend.
Yeah. Is Artoria the last gender bend before that? Like, have we... Nobu.
No, we did Nobu.
Yeah, we did Nobu. Okay, so, ironically, for the fact that Fate has quite a few gender bends, we have done relatively few of them.
Fate doesn't gender bend as much as you think. It's just some of the bigger ones. Like, there's a few big ones they gender bend.
Yeah.
A lot of it they do keep pretty... Like, not every male is a woman in Fate.
That's true. So, Ketz is the Aztec, and, depending on, whatever you look in, there may be evidence for, like, Toltec and stuff like that. Feathered serpent god. Basically, they reign over... depending on the different interpretations, the wind, trade, merchants, they're the patron of the priestly classes. Their name literally means of precious, like serpent of precious feathers, right? Which is where they get the name the feathered serpent. And I don't know if I might try to throw them on screen if I can, but there are several temples dedicated to Quetzalcoatl, temples of the feathered serpent in Teotihuacan and a couple other places, where you can actually see they have these please don't squeak with your feet on that thing. I notice it every time. But they have these really beautiful carvings of like a Mayan serpent head with feathering coming out around the collar, almost like the mane on a lion, right? And it's really beautiful to see, and the artwork is sometimes really stunning. And you have to think that often Quetzalcoatl is associated with the mythological creature, the Quetzalcoatl, which is called the rainbow feathered serpent, and is usually depicted by it's a type of draconic being, right? It's a serpent with wings, and the wings are feathered, and they're in rainbow colors, right? And that's actually one type of feathered serpent in fantasy writing, is a Quetzalcoatl, which I think is actually pretty cool as well. Like, not only are you the feathered serpent god, but you also have a draconid named after you that's a feathered serpent. 10 out of fucking 10. So there's a couple different interpretations of Quetz's myth.
Kukulkan.
Kukul. Oh, that hurts me. That hurts me. There's not even an extra C for you to make that. Oh, that hurts me. So, there's a lot of evidence of Quetz all through Aztec mythology. It's mentioned in a lot of places. I said Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan is not the only place that has a large center of worship for Quetz. And one of the things that Quetz is associated with is the Venus, the morning star. Quetz actually has a twin brother called Xolotl. Xolotl is a dog-headed... so Xolotl is basically Anubis, right? They're either depicted as a dog or a dog-headed deity that guards the spirits of the dead, right? And Xolotl is the god of the evening star. So as the morning star, Quetz's name is actually different. It's Tlahuitzcapantecutl? Something along those lines. It's quite long, and I don't have it memorized, so I have to kind of try and sound it out by Nahuatl pronunciation. But I believe it's Tlahuitzcalpantecutl, which is just the god of the morning star Venus, right? Who they're associated with. Which is interesting that Quetz is associated with Venus, but is a male, because traditionally in most mythologies around the world, anything associated with Venus is associated with females. At least in Europe, for sure, because of the whole Venus and Mars, Aphrodite and Aries kind of connotations. So, and the morning star is often female, like even in other places. In Russian mythology, the morning star, not Russian, but in Slavic tales, the morning star is associated with females, and so are some other things. So it's interesting that it's a male god that reigns over it. There are some Maya interpretations of a feathered serpent, but I don't know if they're directly connected to Quetz, as some of the bigger stuff about Quetz occurs during the Teotihuacan period, which is kind of the late pre-classical. So there's a Nahuatl blurb about what Quetz is, and the blurb says, Quetzalcoatl, he was the wind, the guide, the road sweeper of the rain gods, of the masters of the water, of those who brought rain. And when the wind rose, when the dust rumbled, it cracked, and there was great din. It became dark, and the wind blew in many directions, and it thundered. Then it was said, Quetz is wrathful. Right? So, also a harbinger of other gods, because Quetz is associated with several other larger gods, right? We actually talked about one of them in Jaguar Warrior. So of the larger part of the Aztec pantheon, we talked about Tezcatlipoca, who is the patron god of the Jaguar warriors. And then Tlaloc is the big rain god, right? And then there's Quetz and a couple other deities that are generally worshipped at pretty much every large center of worship by just about everyone. There's also a really... yeah. So, sorry, I went off on a little bit of a...
No, go on.
A little bit of a fucking rant, because I really like Quetz.
Actually, you provided me a very good segue into this. So there is a lot of fatism to Quetz here.
Yeah.
I think you'll like this fatism a lot more in Altera's, but...
yeah.
So, It was funny that you should mention the Mayan winged serpents, the Kukulkan.
Yeah.
That is Quetzalcoatl in Fate, at the very least.
Okay.
And I think it is pretty accepted that they're pretty much one and the same
Yeah,
culturally.
so the thing is, with Maya, Aztec, Olmec, and all those kind of places, they all kind of happened in the same place. So, like, Tlaloc, the rain god, is generally accepted as being worshipped by pretty much all of these civilizations. It's just we don't always have explicit written records from each one claiming the various gods under similar names. So chances are, the feathered serpent has always been the feathered serpent, and like Quetzalcoatl, it's just we might a lot of our information about like Aztec, for example, comes from these 2 or 3 codexes, which are really all we have left outside of stelae, like stones that tell us about them after the colonial period, because much of this stuff was destroyed by the Spanish and other European powers. So, like, for example, in one of the stories about Quetzalcoatl from the Chimalpopoca, it's said that he was coerced by Tezcatlipoca, the jaguar warrior god, right, into drinking a ton of pulque. And if you remember, when we did Tezcatlipoca, the jaguar warriors were one of the higher classes, which is why they were allowed to drink pulque, right, which is like this type of alcohol. And then he ended up having sex with his older sister, who was a celibate priestess, and then he was so ashamed the next day that he had his servants build him a chest, adorn him in jewelry, and then set him on fire, upon which his ashes rose, took flight as the feathered serpent, and he became Venus, the morning star in the sky. Tlahuitzcalpantecuhtli, right? Which is pretty interesting, because they're, in a lot of ways, you have that he is the god of, but he's also present separately in this version, like he is the morning star up in heaven that you see bright in the morning every day.
Why don't we go ahead and move into Quetzal's design? You've actually seen this one before.
So I have seen Quetzal's design, and here's the thing. I fucking love Quetzal's design, right? Like, this is the best gender bend ever. I'm so happy that this got gender bent. Like, I would be super happy if there was a male version of this, but oh boy, do I love the female version. Oh, she's so cute. I want 20. I want an army of them. Look at your little jagged teeth and the... God, So Nick Nack knows I love Quetzal's design. Also, we mentioned the Maquahuitl, because I was saying that the Jaguar Warriors, one of their traditional weapons was the Maquahuitl, but the Jaguar Warrior doesn't use one. Quetzal does! She uses a Maquahuitl! And I love it, because, like, I don't remember a ton from Babylonia, because it was a while ago and I still need to finish it. But, like, whenever I see Quetzal on screen, she comes across as very, like, bloodthirsty and vicious, right? And I really, really like that with the Maquahuitl added, because the Maquahuitl is one of the most brutal weapons in the world. Like, it is basically a stationary chainsaw. Right? Like, it is not a sword. It does not stab you clean through and through. It shreds your insides and your skin around its incisions. And she's got the little sharp teeth, and oh, I love her so much.
So in Fate, it starts at the Mayan interpretation, actually. It starts with the...
Well, Mayan's earlier than Aztec, so that makes sense.
Quetzal's at one point being called the Kukulkan, the Mayan name for it.
Yeah.
The Kukulkan differs from even the other Aztec gods in Fate, actually. Quetzal, unlike the other gods, which in Fate most gods are kind of... It's what came first, the human belief or the gods that were... Because in Fate, all gods were created mostly out of human belief.
Yeah.
Quetzal, that's not necessarily the case. Quetzal was actually a bacteria that arrived on the meteor that killed the dinosaurs in the Yucatan.
Wait, I love that, because it's the Yucatan Peninsula is the right kind of place, because you're thinking about places like Chichen Itza, which is one of the modern kind of wonders of the world, and Teotihuacan and that sort of thing, like Xochicalco, and the Ciudad de...
And that bacteria over time became the winged serpent that you see cited in
That's actually pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool, because when you think like Draconid, right, we don't, like, a lot of people... So the reason why people thought there were dragons, right, is they dug up dinosaur bones and they didn't know what they were, right? So the fact that Quetzal comes from a dragonid, right, who was what wiped out the dinosaurs, right, when people thought that dinosaurs were draconids, and that's why we have dinosaurs in mythology, is actually pretty fucking cool. Also, there is actually, so we have in the paleontological record, there is a feathered serpent dinosaur. A dinosaur that flew like a
The Quetzalcoatlus?
Yeah, like a Quetzalcoatl,
Largest,
and had feathers. However, it's much smaller in the
Yeah.
archaeological record, but there is evidence of that sort of thing. And then when you think of things like pterodactyls, which is not the same family, but like...
I think we might be thinking of two different creatures then, because I was thinking of the Quetzalcoatlus, which was the largest flying animal to ever exist.
Oh yeah, no,
that was
there
named
was
after
that.
Ketz.
Yeah, there was that too. But
there must have been another one that was a little bit closer to the
Yeah, because I remember it was when it was discovered, like in fossil, the feathers had imprinted, and you could see the feathers on the wing, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, dinosaurs could be feathered, my dudes! Imagine a giant feathered T-Rex."
So Ketz is kind of like Altera in that alien aspect, except Altera came to destroy the world. Ketz was just an alien bacteria that
Ketz
sort of
just
formed on the world.
Ketz just parasited her way into like fucking deification.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wait, it's tough to be a god.
Now here's the thing: Ketz in the Mayan and Aztec days was a man.
Okay.
Like Ketz is not actually gender bent as a god.
Is this like that frog thing?
The frog thing.
Where, like, some frogs have an evolutionary ability to, like, switch
No.
to... Okay.
We're not Jurassic Parking this.
I'm just wondering, because, like...
Oh, we are, but we're not Jurassic Parking
is there
this.
concept art of, like, a male version of Ketz?
Not to my knowledge.
Damn.
But there's a particular reason Ketz is gender bent here.
Okay.
In Fate... So, let's see. So, Fate claims that the South American deities were no stranger to transferring their existences between living people, so they would... In some terms, be summoned into those people. With Ket, it's sort of a similar situation to Ozymandias, who claimed to be the Egyptian sun god Ra, as he was living. So Ozymandias, as a servant, could be considered a Ra servant. It's just Ozymandias is such a big name that Ozymandias is the servant.
Yeah.
That's why Ozymandias has that, like, I am the king of gods.
He has the sunboat of Ra and that sort of thing. Okay.
Ketz is exactly like that, except that that Ozzy was such a big name, he was summoned as himself. Ketz, not so much here. Instead, the reason Ketz took this form is because this was a form Ketz actually would end up taking at some point in the modern day, where she discovered lucha libre wrestling, and the god Ketz, through his host, ended up sharing in his host's love for lucha libre wrestling so much, this became Ketz's preferred form.
I mean, that makes so much sense, and it also makes the card art make sense, and I love it. Interesting fact. So, in Mayan, right? In the Mayan language, people were named... So, I cannot explain this well because I don't do math, right? But the Mayan calendar had, like, 52 days, a certain amount of months, and a certain amount of years, and it did not match up with our current calendar, right? So they would cycle around, right? And each person would be named after the day they were born on. Like, that's how you would get your name, basically. And the calendar would repeat itself every 52 years. So at one calendar cycle, to get back to the same day, took 52 years. So it was said in Mayan tradition, right, that if you were born 52 years separate from someone else, right? You had the same name. You were the same person, just at different points in your life, right? So, like, if you and then your grandson was born 52 years later, you are just, like, your grandson is you, like, point blank, period. Like, the Mayans had a very cyclical sense of, like, time and birth and life, and it's really interesting because it extends to the way that they organize their history of living. Like, for example, right, in Mayan mythology, there have been, I believe, 4 worlds before ours, right? And they have, like, time as a cyclical thing that's always going in a circle, but, like, the gods were like, okay, well, let's make a world with all these people made of trees to worship us. But the trees, they don't worship us properly. Okay, so you drown the world of trees, right? You start again with something else. Okay, but they're not worshiping us properly. So they drown the world, and then they started with monkeys, right? But the monkeys weren't worshiping them properly again, so they eradicate the entire species, basically, and start again with humans. And that's where we get to humans in this cyclical kind of period of time. And what's interesting is also in a lot of South American cultures, monkeys are referred to as humanity's big brother or humanity's older cousin. It's because they're from the previous cycle of mythology, right? Or like life and living.
They figured it out before science did.
Kind of, in a way. I mean, like, low-key, they were kind of right. Like, not really, because, like, the monkeys in the New World are very, very... Like, those are simians, they are not apes, and humans come from apes. So they split off
Same family, at least.
Yeah, they split off much earlier in the evolutionary kind of time period. But we are related, like, very much more closely than most other animals in the fucking mammalian family.
So now there is actually a specific reason why Quetz took a female host in the first place, why Quetz gender bent in the original.
Okay, I'm curious about that.
And you mentioned it earlier, actually. Largely culturally, especially as time has gone on and we've sort of become more connected culturally, Venus has come to be viewed as a female figure because of the sheer amount of cultures that had that view. So Quetz at least this is what Quetz claims. Quetz claims that he or she just kind of adapted to that.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. So I do have a quick question before we move on. Can you go back to one of her full-size artworks? A different one? I'm trying to get a... Okay. I was just wondering if she had something that... But it doesn't look like it, or I can't identify if it is.
Okay.
I'll have to take a closer look later.
So
there's a story in mythology that Quetzalcoatl adorns like a piece of jewelry that's basically a cross-section of a particular type of shell that means something, but I couldn't see if she was wearing it in any of those arts.
So getting into abilities here, while I'm scrolling down, Quetz being, like, the Aztec gods or the South American gods being able to be summoned into people normally is also why Quetz, compared to a lot of gods, does not have her power drained as much when summoned as a servant.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, isn't Jaguar Warrior is a form of Tezcatlipoca?
Yeah.
We talked about that. So, and obviously, like, in mythology, they're very, God, I remember that scene!
Fun fact, Jaguar Warrior, and you probably saw it in Babylonia too, Jaguar Warrior calls Quetz Cuckoo.
Yeah.
Kukulkan.
For the Kukulkan, yeah. I remember that scene!
We'll browse our gifts here if we can.
What? Also, can we just say, Quetz has the best entrance, right? In, like, a fucking anime.
Juggling people.
Like, literally, this woman, she has, like, the most cinematic fight scenes. I love them.
So, Quetz has that, what did you call it again? I know you have the pronunciation, right?
Maquahuitl.
Yeah, the Maquahuitl. Mm-hmm. And she does have a shield. But her primary preferred form of fighting, as you can see here, is Lucha Libre wrestling.
Is to absolutely, like, just a full contact diving and pile driving and, like, clotheslining. Like, I think I've seen her choke someone out with her thighs.
Yeah.
Like, there's that. So, Nick Nack has shown me excerpts from the musicals, right? Like the section of, like, stage plays, and I tried to show a segment of the Dance of the Sun King for Ozymandias, and YouTube copyright claim to my video, so I'm not gonna put the video in here. But the one where Quetz is, like, fucking wrestling on a mat with a bunch of these half-naked men is so funny because it's so fucking fake. Like, the actress for Quetz is not even anywhere near to touching them. These men have just taken, like, a vow to do, like, 300% effort on falling and being hit. Like, she's just like, pow! And one of them just, like, flings himself backwards. Like, it's amazing!
Jaguar Man actually had the pleasure of taking one of these attacks at one point in Babylonia, and as a quote here, while taking that attack, I'm going to die.
Yes! That is the mood. That is the mood! Just
to put into perspective how strong she is, at one point she annihilated Uruk's south gate with nothing but her bare hands, and when being dealt a surprised, backstabbing wound by a coward in a white robe, her scream could be heard about 30 kilometers away.
Yeah, no, it literally says right there, whose combat strength is roughly, it says, most impressive considering Gilgamesh claimed to be stronger than the original Enkidu, a spirit whose combat strength is the same as Gilgamesh in his prime.
Yep.
And she is stronger! She does not need her fucking abilities. She just is!
Speaking of Gilgamesh and Enkidu, as a very divine servant, she should be very affected by their chains of heaven. She's broken out of that off sheer, raw physical strength.
Oh, okay. I love Quetz so much. Nick Nack. Knick-knack, I love Quetz so much. So there is only one figure of Quetz available, like, so far that Fate has made. And I want it so badly. But most places I can only buy it as part of a set that's, like, really fucking expensive. Oh, I cannot wait.
She also has authority over, let's see. So, but outside of, like, Venus, she has authority over a lot of different things, including the sun.
Uh-huh.
And...
Yeah, that's an interesting thing about Mayan and Aztec gods, because in so many different places they were worshipped by different people for different things. They often have like a whole host of... It's more like they were worshipped as a person and then ascribed a ton of different... Like I said, Quetz was the god of the wind and parts of the rain and merchants and this and that, and also of the priestly class and a few other things thrown in. It's not like the Greek gods who are very like, this is the god of war, this is the god of storms, this is the god of water. This is very much, this is a god. They can affect all these different things. Because like both Tlaloc and Quetz have power over water, and I think both Tezcatlipoca and Quetz are assigned some control over like the wind kind of and earth elements and that sort of thing.
So, but with that sun thing, because of one of her NPs and using it in combination with her with other things, she's capable of creating solar winds on Earth to help her fight her enemies.
Yes, they're so good.
And at her most divine, because she's considered a goddess of good, to the most extreme degree. Once she's at her most divine, she's capable of being immune from all damage from anyone who's good.
That's adorable. I love that. Also, she is the queen of dragons. She is the god of draconids. I love dragons. I fucking love dragons. Y'all probably know, I love dragons!
She is one of the few serpents actually capable of riding dragons.
I know, besides Siegfried and...
I don't know if Siegfried can ride them. I know he can kill them. I don't know if he can ride them.
I'm pretty sure he can.
Maybe.
I think Draconid mounts were there. And then maybe Elizabeth Bathory?
Maybe.
Mecha Ellie-chan?
I don't know, because we also have to give them a lot of the riding skills say they can't ride dragons. And that's why dragons include them.
Yeah. But, that's super fucking cool. Even the dragon kinds that fall outside of riding skill, that's super fucking cool. Also, I just...
Alright, so Quetz has, on top of being ridiculously powerful...
So she's got personal skills, right? So the wisdom of the benevolent god, okay. And lucha libre, that's her wrestling.
Yeah. I kind of mentioned a lot of these in
Oh yeah, see, Macuahuitl.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is right there. Wait! It's called a Macana? Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I don't know if that's... If you want to click into that, I actually don't know if that's...
Macana, I actually did look at this because I knew it didn't sound like the name you mentioned. Macana is a more generic description of that type of weapon, and the Macuahuitl is the specific version of that.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't think that's the name of... So that's another thing. Mayan mythology doesn't really have, like, famous weapons. Mm-hmm. That's not a thing. Like, people just had weapons. You were just a good fighter with a weapon. And
you'll notice Quetz has one, but it's not like Excalibur. It's not her preferred method of combat.
Yeah.
Her preferred method of combat is fight.
Yeah, that...
Whatever hits the enemy.
I bet she'd be bitey.
Probably.
I'm down.
So Quetz has, not one, not two, but three noble phantasms.
So much for me to explore. So much for me to enjoy.
I'm going to go ahead and go up here so I can click into them in case there's gifts, because we have an anime.
That's true.
So let's see.
Got...
The first one here that I'm going to go over is Piedra del Sol.
Piedra del Sol. Okay. So this is the solar winds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sunstone. So, you know what? This actually might be a reference to something, somewhat. So, I believe it's in Chichen Itza, right? But if you look up, Chichen Itza is the temple to the temple of the feathered serpent, right? And one of the fun things about Chichen Itza is on, I think, 2 days during the year, I believe... It might be the solstice. I don't think it's the solstice. It's one of those like 2 famous days in the Mayan calendar. The light hits the pyramid in such a way that one of the statues of the feathered serpent that goes all the way down the pyramid casts a shadow that makes it appear as if the dragon is doing this down the side of the pyramid, like moving, and it has to do with like the using the sun in conjunction with other things. The Mayans really like to use the sun to make certain things illuminate at certain times on certain days, which is pretty fucking cool. They also like cared a lot for the sun. Like the sun was very important to them, which is really funny because they called gold the shit of the sun and thought it was useless.
So, the NP here is specifically her temple.
Yeah.
Or her temple
so
along with that
that's
place.
Chichen Itza.
Yeah.
That's Chichen Itza. Okay.
And she can construct this when she's summoned to increase her divinity, which is what allows her to be like, oh, what, you're going to hit me? Are you a lawful good or neutral good or even chaotic good?
Yeah.
You're not hurting me.
I like how that literally went up against Tiamat. Like Tiamat is the evil goddess of Mesopotamia. Like, she is the basically Mesopotamian end all be all, like Tiamat is. Also, like, Ishtar's like, that could destroy Uruk. Like, Uruk is not a small city. Holy fuck, that's super fucking cool.
She does more with this later. I will come back to this, but that is...
Also, did you notice the big stone on top? That's the Mayan circle round, the calendar. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a stupid fucking thing with the 52-day cycle.
But yeah, no, she's...
that's actually... Wait, this is a reference to the 52-day cycle. Look, the circles with the breakups and the lines. Mm-hmm. That's a reference to the 52-year cycle. And the 3... Sekhie loves it when there's little
tidbits.
tidbits.
This is actually a Bond CE, so we'll see this again with some extra text later.
Nice.
But let's see. She can also, as I mentioned earlier, use it to deal heat damage with solar winds.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and head back. There was a gift there, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get to see that a little bit more here. The second NP, the...
Quetzalcoatl or Shuhaquatl? Shuquatl?
Okay, yeah, no, sorry, it's in a different order. Oh. So the next one we're going to go to is the Xiuquatl, or Shuaquatl. This is the one in FGO, but I'm going to pull up the GIF here for now. We'll show the FGO animation later.
Yeah.
Ketz is able to seal her opponent's true names, their skills, and their noble phantasms.
This is the Tezcatlipoca story. With the pulque and the dying and the fly. Okay. Now I get why you were like, it's good you brought that up.
Yes. She uses this in tandem to strike at... So she basically seals the servant, like everything that makes that servant a servant. Uh-huh. And then
Jesus.
She, in the modern day, has learned to use that while they're weakened and down to give them a flying suplex.
Wait. She does the thing. She does the thing that Sasuke does in Naruto and the Chunin. Have I gotten you that far? Or
no.
Sasuke, like, pile drives people into the floor on their heads?
It's a suplex.
Yeah. Okay, so, for those of you who will get this reference, Rock Lee basically does that exact same thing in Naruto, and it is just as epic there. Like, he, grabs onto the person, right? And what he does is he jumps in the air, flips them both upside down, and then spins while pile driving them headfirst into the ground. I love. Here's the thing. I don't watch Lucha Libre or, female wrestling leagues, but, I get a lot of, videos of them on my TikTok, and I really love, wrestling and shit. It's so fun to watch.
So, what's going on here in this GIF is she can use it in tandem with her Piedra del Sol to basically turn herself into the meteor that killed the dinosaurs.
Dude, that's fucking epic. Also, the fact that she can use this to lock everything that makes servants, imagine using that on Gilgamesh. Fuck off. Now you don't have Enuma Elish. Has she ever done that?
She's never fought Gilgamesh, to my knowledge.
Damn, that'd be an awesome fight. Enuma Elish kills me so often.
Look, you're starting to hit the point in Fate where you're like, okay, this would be a cool fight. Why hasn't this been done?
It would be such a cool fight. Am I wrong?
No.
Right. Or Herc. Oh god, using this on Herc. That would be cool. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Let's go ahead and move on. We'll be coming back to this in a minute for the animation in game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that is the Tezcatlipoca story with the pulque and stuff and burning herself and all her treasures.
All right, before I begin, I want to build this up here. This is the best noble phantasm Ketz has. This one will blow your socks off. Quetzalcoatl can summon a Quetzalcoatlus. The giant pterosaur from the Cretaceous period. The largest flying animal in history.
That's actually pretty fucking cool.
This one is actually much more powerful, though, because
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a representation of Quetz with her...
Yeah, no, that's really fucking cool. It looks really fucking cool, too.
So this thing is capable of creating localized storms that include rain and lightning.
Yeah.
They're also absurdly fast, and the best part here, Quetz can ride these and allow other people to ride them.
My woman's got a fucking pterosaur thunderbird. Because remember the thunderbird in Harry Potter creates storms? It's a fucking pterosaur thunderbird. Like, that's fucking awesome. Although the whole storm thing makes sense, because it says that they are the harbinger of, like, Tlaloc and the rain gods, so obviously you could bring storms down. That's pretty fucking cool. I love that.
Alright, so why don't we take a look here.
Oh, she's so cute. I love it. I love it! Oh, the Firebird. The Firebird. I love it. I love it so much.
Alright.
No, I love it so much. She doesn't have an arcade, does she?
She does not.
That is a loss to us all.
Well, they've actually...
You hear me?
That one actually introduced a bunch of new servants as well, so...
Still, that is a loss to us all. That was epic looking.
She came out around when arcade was starting to really diverge. Like, the chapter was almost entirely different, really just maintaining only that it kept being based on Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and move on here to our next one. We're going to have to go back here, because I'll pull it up here as well. If I go here, I can go into...
Isn't it just the forms and alternate versions right there?
Yep. Samba Quetz.
I have heard... So I've never seen Samba Quetz, and well, now I have. But I have heard of it. I do have a couple comments I want to make here, right? So first of all, this is very Carnival, right? Like, this looks like it comes out of, like, one of those... Have you seen the Carnival outfits for, like, the women doing like, Carnival, right? You know what I mean.
Yeah.
So this looks... You did not let this load.
No, I didn't. This has been sitting here for a while, too.
Yeah. No, you just opened this. At least this part. Okay, there we go. Anyways, but this looks very Carnival with the addition of fur lining. I like the six-pack. That seems appropriate. That's adorable. With the Lucha Libre mask. That's so cute. And the color, like Christmas, green and red. What I did want to say is, so back to the original Quetz though, real quick before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look, right, like the color and the way that it's done is very kind of like traditional, right? Like they very much channeled traditional Aztec like dress as far as we can tell, with like all the colors and layers and feathers and bits of fur coming out dyed different colors. And I actually really, really appreciate that because it makes a really colorful character to look at. And like even the shield with the tufts coming out of it, like it's very, very cool. And outside of, like, maybe the lack of covering for, like, a woman, but then it's the male god, whatever, like, it's a fun take on, like, something a little bit more accurate than just putting them in a bikini. And even here, like, so this is a Christmas version. I know it's not based on, like, explicit mythology, obviously, because Christmas is not a thing. But even this, I mean, with the combination of the mask from Lucha Libre and, like, the rest of the outfit does look like a Carnival outfit. So it's actually really fun to see.
So, why don't I explain what's going on here?
Yeah, I am curious. I've heard of Samba Santa, but I don't know the story.
So when we last saw the Santa factor in Fate, it was with Altera, who endeavored to be the best Santa possible.
Yeah.
1 year later, it was time to pass that on, and Altera needed to find the next Santa, and when you know it, Altera could sense in her bones that the best person for the job was Quetz.
Honestly, Altera's right.
Quetz misheard her, though, and instead of becoming Santa Quetz, Quetz used that power to become Samba Quetz. A combination of Santa, samba dancing, and of course, Lucha Libre wrestling.
I mean, I'm down.
She is now the ruler class, though.
Oh, interesting.
Whereas before she was the rider class.
Yeah. So she's a ruler now.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jeanne d'Arc.
Yes.
Ooh.
It was a recipe for perfection. But this misunderstanding led to a conflict of interest in Santa, you could say. So Quetz is split into two forms. Technica mask.
Yeah.
And Rudos mask.
Why does this one feel like some sort of evil demon that's gonna eat your fucking heart? Like, you know what this feels like? This feels like the fucking creature that's gonna crack open your ribcage, pull out your heart, and eat it. Am I wrong?
No.
Okay. Because, like, look, you can see the... Okay, I will say, one of my favorite things about Quetz's design are the sharp, pointy teeth. Like, like, there is something so attractive about, like, the sharp, pointy teeth on, like, a design.
Yeah, you're just a monster fucker.
I mean, that, too.
So, Rudos Mask, realizing that this left the year with no clear Santa, decided to host a Lucha Libre tournament to decide who was the most fitting for the Santa power.
And that's
in order
why...
to demonstrate that it was her and who should have it.
That's why I saw the other servants' names like Bradamante and shit.
Yep, because it was a full-ass tournament arc. Technica Mask, knowing the dangers of the Santa power, competed to ensure that she would protect it from the evil Rudos Mask.
I love it! I love it! Dark Quetz and light Quetz.
Alright, so let's get into what this Quetz can do.
Wait, oh shit.
So, Karna has commented that Samba Quetz might very well be the strongest Santa Claus, countered only by himself, maybe.
Yeah.
She prides herself on her Samba, just like her Lucha Libre, but unlike Lucha Libre, her host did not have the background in it to do it properly. So she's only doing what she can mimic with Samba dancing.
There's just a lot of...
It's a little off, but hey, she's having fun.
Yeah, okay, here's the thing, right? If you're enjoying yourself,
yeah.
fucking go off. It is more fun to watch someone enjoying themselves than to watch someone trying to be technical.
She also had to modify her fighting style, because her fighting style normally is a spin on Lucha Libre with a very aerial focus.
Yeah, does it incorporate
Go ahead and look that up, but I promise you that it's not that deep.
Okay, hang on a second. Capoeira.
I don't know.
So capoeira is a type of fighting. So it's a Brazilian martial art that combines dance, acrobatics, and music that was essentially created when with Africans who were taken to Brazil and then developed by their descendants later.
Oh, heavens no.
Well, that would have been cool. I'm just saying, capoeira would have been... See, capoeira would have been a really good way to be like, hey, take a look at this character who's like incorporating fighting and dance and music all into one style.
Absolutely doing Lucha Libre in the air. However, instead, now she wears bells so that they ring whenever she makes a movement in the air instead, thus allowing her to fit in as a Santa.
It's like Kenpachi! It's like Kenpachi! Kenpachi's a Bleach character. I know you don't know this, but he's super fucking strong, and everyone's like weaker than him, so he wears bells in his hair so that people hear him moving, and it makes it a slightly more fair fight.
Her noble phantasm is called Yucatan Regalo de Navidad.
Oh, well, that's easy.
The Yucatan Present Slam.
Yeah.
It's the delivery of a giant-sized present that's the size of the Yucatan meteor onto her opponents. It is packed with purely presents for good children and exists to make them smile. It is also very tournament legal.
Hey, my dude, what is that? A star? A colony? No, it's a Christmas present. What? Look in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Samba Quetz.
Alright, so I actually have two versions of this to show you.
Oh, that's...
The first one is at the start of this video.
Glorious.
This is the basic version.
I will say, little bit of a cop-out that they didn't play some, like, samba music real loud. Is this the other version?
No. The other version is next, maybe? Oh.
Okay.
That's not Quetz's voice.
No, it's not. Is it someone she's fighting? Oh,
Jaguar Warrior was the announcer for this tournament.
Yes! Okay, Jaguar Warrior has the exact energy and presence I want from a tournament announcer. You know what I mean? I feel like that literally make this like 10 times better.
What is that? It's a star. It's a colony. No, it's a Christmas present.
I want a version of her normal one like this. Look in the sky. What is it? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Quetzalcoatl.
I wanted so hard to show you Jaguar Warrior doing that during the Jaguar Warrior episode.
That's so good. I
but
love it so
I
much.
couldn't.
I love it so much. I love Ketz so much. And I love her fucking April Fool's art. Her April Fool's art is god tier. Like, I want a plushie that looks exactly like that.
Alright, so you ready for the next part here?
Okay, there's more. Oh yeah, she has 2 in piece?
No, that was it.
No.
So, whoops, this video was removed due to a copyright, the copyright user claiming it. Ketz has, the event that Ketz has been in has never rerun, and it's widely believed that this is because it led to copyright issues in Japan with another Lucha Libre parody character in manga.
Oh.
It could have just been for a lack of time, but they've never retouched on this event and re-released this Serpent for Samba Ketz.
But Ketz is the best! I love Ketz.
Before we move on to CEs, I want to read you an excerpt, because there is something I think you might find fun.
Okay. Wow me.
Oh, first, can you pronounce that name for me?
Tezcatlipoca?
Okay. Tezcatlipoca. Tezcatlipoca. The worst disgusting divine spirit, no matter the time or place. That shitty bastard spider. And as an aforementioned, you manifest in the worst form, just like I said. Really, you're so dirty looking to the point that I want to smash you to pieces. Amongst other things, a god tainted by modern civilization. I wonder if you are not ashamed of yourself as a god.
Holy fucking shit!
That is a quote from Ketz.
About Tezcatlipoca?
Yes.
But... Oh, Jesus. That's impressive.
If you want to take a quick scroll down this, do you want me to?
Yeah, take a quick scroll down. I usually just, like, sometimes I notice, like, names and shit. But not always. Hey, Jaguar deity.
Yep.
Tezcatlipoca. Oh, there's the quote about Tezcatlipoca. Yeah. See, because I know already that the anime she shows up in is Babylonia, right? So that's the chapter she's in the...
Yes.
And I'm nowhere near... Oh my god. First, can we talk about her entrance in the fucking... like, her scenes in the anime?
Juggling people.
Like, first of all, she's just juggling anime, but then, like, there was that little gif a little further up, like this one. Like, just fucking... Like, that is one of the most epic parts of, like, her fight scene.
And I love that she walks around in the anime and in the game just walking in Spanglish knees.
Yeah.
Or speaking in Spanglish knees.
Yeah, like, I think I kind of did a what the fuck when she, like, opened her mouth and started speaking. At first, because she, like, uses some Spanglish, and I was like, what the fuck? Because I think I made the comment, like, they should have used Nahuatl, because they could have. There's enough knowledge of Nahuatl for them to use Nahuatl. But also colonization, lucha libre, I get the whole Spanish thing now.
And it does make a little bit more sense when you realize her host is actually from the modern day. Latin America.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's move down here to the CEs for the normal one. For the inspection seats, you can see she's got...
I like with the cloak and everything, like it's very, very pretty. So cute. Wait, go back to the... Did I see stage 4?
Yeah, I brought it up for a minute.
Oh, I just didn't catch it then.
Oh,
I do like that, though. I'm a fan. Can't figure out where to put me.
Yeah, no, I cannot figure out what to do with you.
Alright, so, like...
we'll pull this one up.
Yeah, definitely the next one. 2 gods, 3 legs. I mean, just go ahead and pull them all up. I think they all look really pretty, so I at least want to look at them. Yeah. So we'll start with... So we've already kind of seen this, but I'll take a gander at the... Okay, so that's a direct reference to the world constantly being destroyed and reborn. Yep. The Aztec gods will always create a new world. And it is the fifth world. Okay, so I was right the first time. It's the fifth world. Quetzalcoatl is the son of the second world. That's it. Because I know, so there's a different god as the son of each of the worlds. Scroll down, because I didn't quite catch all of it. Yeah, 5 suns carved into the sunstone. Tenochtitlan, which is now Mexico City, is another one of the places where there are massive temples to Quetz. Teotihuacan, Tenochtitlan, Chichen Itza, and Xochicalco, I think, or something along those lines, are the big worship centers where we have huge temples to Quetz. I like that someday the fifth world will disappear. When that happens, what will the sixth world be? Because it's true. I mean, that's how Mayan Aztec mythology works, and I love that. I wonder if the Sunstone. I wonder if it's kept at the Templo de Mayor. I'd have to check that later, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
All right, let's take a look at the next one.
So this is Liberacion Chocolatl, right? Which is Valentine's Day. Also, it's hot cacao, Montezuma. I knew it was gonna be, and this is specifically like that traditional type. Also, if you look at it, it looks like they have like a little bit of like red spice on top of the thing, and that's very traditional because it's a more kind of earthy, spicy taste than one that's chocolatey. Yeah. So this doesn't spoil anything for me. I've seen, obviously.
You've seen Babylonia, you know.
I've seen Babylonia, so I know Ishtar, which is why I was kind of confused as to whether or not that was her on the last one. But this divine three-legged race, that's pretty funny. Is there anything written in it interesting?
It's a conversation entirely.
That's actually really funny, because you impress me. Are you perhaps a goddess of the wind? Maybe you don't need to be a rider. Same to you. I thought relying on your boat made you weak, but you have legs like an impala. The big sister is getting fired up. Oh yeah, because Ishtar is the original association of a female goddess with Venus. So Ishtar is our earliest association of a goddess figure with Venus, and in a lot of ways, Aphrodite and Venus later in Rome are often associated with Ishtar actually in different centers of worship. Like, for example, in some places in the Middle East, the Greeks and Romans just repurposed Ishtar temples as Aphrodite and Venus, and they would call them like Aphrodite Ishtar or Ishtar Aphrodite, you know. Just like how Aphrodite and Venus were just two different names under the same thing, Isis was the other one associated with this very often.
All right, let's move on to Heroic Spirit. So this
is the anniversary, and it's we saw this on another spirit recently. Jaguar? Did Jaguar
you saw another one just a minute ago on when we recorded Woo.
Yeah, but there was another formal dress that was Japanese.
A lot of them have these. They release a huge batch of these every year.
Yeah, it's pretty. Also, her skirt has the feathered serpent on it, which is a nice, her dress, which is a nice bonus. Okay.
She's only in the background there, I think. There she is, back there, smiling.
Just in the back.
A lot of other servants I don't think you recognize. Is that Achilles there?
I think that might be Achilles.
Otherwise, you don't recognize anyone else
nobody else. Like Jaguar and kids! Hot Chocolatl. This is the other so this is this year's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I have a feeling this one actually might be Santa Ketz's. Or Samba Ketz's.
Scroll down. Aww. That's adorable. There are many kinds of hot chocolate.
Oh wait, this actually might be Jaguar Man's. No, it's Valentine's 22.
No.
It's this.
But yeah, if you go down, there are many kinds of chocolate, but the one recommended to you by the South American goddess is Chocolatl. She wants you to warm up with it. Like, that's actually really fucking cute. Along with her spectacular smile, and it was a really nice card art. It was super detailed.
This is just a new CE altogether. It's not actually specific to Quetz. Like, you pull this one from the pool.
Oh, it's just, okay. So it's not Quetz specific, but it's Quetz and Jaguar warrior in it. I like putting them together. That's cute and fun.
They're hilarious.
Because we don't have a lot of Mayan. This is it, pretty much. Yeah. Which
we might be getting a lot more.
Y'all, we should get Quetzalcoatl and Xolotl and Tezcatlipoca.
The next major story chapter is supposed to be South America.
Oh, I'm excited for that then. I would love to get some more of the like deities and that kind of thing. And the hero twins would be great to get the hero twins, because then we could talk about the Popol Vuh on the channel and stuff like that. Because I had to read the Popol Vuh and analyze it. And it's super interesting. And
now let's go take a look at Samba Quetz's
yeah.
CEs. I don't know how many there are of Samba Quetz as a variant, but we'll take a look. There's at least a bond.
Yeah. Speaking of, I had a question real quick. Scroll up just a little. So these bonds?
So these are little things that are, you get a lot of its detail, extra detail on the Serpent that's usually included in the wiki in more summarized form.
Oh, okay.
But if you ever wanted more detail, all the skills descriptions come from these.
Okay, so those are skill descriptions. All right.
You get other stuff, you occasionally get stuff like, this is the full NP description.
Yeah.
And then you have little things from their life up here. But
okay.
all of that stuff that I do actually read through a little bit.
Okay.
So craft essences here.
So you can go ahead and just open
the full breadth of this.
Yeah. The trace. Yeah.
Yes, I got it.
There we go. So start with Feathered Serpent of the Holy Night. Obviously, there's her little bird form. I like that. The Merry Christmas, Merry Sambamas, Feliz Navidad. Oh, I think. Okay, next up we'll head to the Australian continent via the Arctic. Continue towards Asia. That's pretty funny. The fact that any of this happened is a miracle unto itself. That's a mood.
All right.
I like how instead of Santa's reindeer and helpers, we've got these fucking pterosaurs delivering. This is terrifying. This is
like Nightmare Before Christmas.
These are terrifying, but they're so cute. Little murder birds. God, I love them. Okay, understandable.
The Valentine. It's just a chocolate bell.
I'm good. Very much shaped. Yeah, ring it once and experienced more. Ooh. That's pretty fun. Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
Another one of the anniversary wears.
Yeah, it's also interesting because they've got the football outfit. And football is, the most popular sport in South and Central America, basically.
I want to say that year's theme was around the world.
Yeah, I could see that. Scroll down a little so I can see if... Okay, yeah, it's showing hospitality through various forms of entertainment. Let's see, for better or for worse, right? Football is and this is... we would call it soccer in America, but it is football. It is the premier sport in South and Central America, and that is actually historically in the last 10 to 15 years has been to the economic deterrent of several of its host nations, because several large football tournaments have been held in the last 10 to 15 years in South and Central America. However, every single one of them has required the spending of millions of dollars and clearing of forest acres to build new stadiums that were then immediately abandoned afterwards. So it was huge economic upheaval for literally nothing. I think so they built a stadium in the Amazon rainforest for one of the events in Brazil. I think it was used during the Rio Games, but it was built for the World Football Tournament or something like that. It was used for a single day in both events, but they built it in part of the Amazon rainforest, and it cost them upwards of several $1 million, and it's just sat abandoned on area that they cleared for it. So often to the detriment of the actual economic factors in these countries, this is the most popular sport.
All right, and for the final CE we have to look at traces of, these are just the Santas.
Yeah, I was gonna say that just looks like
little Christmas wishes.
Yeah,
so
because I recognize
there's Quetz there. There's Santa Ultra. You could see Santa Altera on her sheep in the back. Yeah. There's a Santa you haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's called Traces of Christmases Past.
This was for the Nightingale Santa event, because these are all the Santas that were before her.
Before Nightingale, we saw Nightingale. Okay, so I've seen almost all the Santas now.
Yeah, we're only missing one of them up to the point where the NA.
Is that person on our schedule to be done anytime this year or next?
Maybe, maybe not.
I'm just wondering, because
if she's not, then there's a good chance that she's one of those ones we fill in if we ever need to fill something in.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, because if we've seen a lot of the Christmases, that it would make sense to finish them, but...
I didn't theme it like that. But we will be keeping up with the Christmases going forward.
Yeah, because we do schedule our Christmas episode to be whoever the Christmas
If it's
Serpent
not something
is.
we've done yet, we always try to make them at that time of year.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, we'll be getting them just in time, not for this Christmas, but for next Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So by
we will
next
be
Christmas,
them.
we'll have all the Santas except for the brand new ones.
Yeah, cool. And we'll keep up with those as we go. All right,
Okay.
that's fun.
All right. So yeah, that about does it for this one.
I mean, you knew I was gonna love cats. I love cats. You have heard me talk so much about how much I love cats. Like, if there were Kets figures like Coup figures, I would have Kets figures like Coup figures.
All right. Well, if we're about done, I do want to give one hint to the people.
Okay. My man, you good?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do that again later, or eventually. So we'll see you next time, guys. My back is killing me.
Like, comment, subscribe.